Hey guys, welcome to Offside and Out of Bounds. We're going to show you a little bit of what we've been working on all semester. As a reminder, our multimedia podcast is about sports media, the sports industry. We've also talked to some professional athletes to get a kind of behind the scenes look at what they do.
As a four-part series, we've welcomed multitude of guests. Our first guest was Juan Morales, who works for the NHL and does social and video content. It's followed by Robin Pearson, the social media manager at The Gist, both Canada and the US. And then we were joined by Hannah Hall, a former Division I basketball player at the University of Buffalo, as well as a member of Team Canada, and now works in the basketball industry as well. And then for our fourth and final episode, we were joined by Trent Michaud, who is a professional figure skater who has his eyes on the 2026 Olympics.
We hope you enjoy.
Honestly, we're putting this in anyway, so it's fine. Just start talking.
Okay. We hope you liked the rough cut. Or yeah, that's what they're gonna be watching.
They're watching the final cut.
Oh, my bad. We hoped you liked all of the episodes and everything that we showed you today. This is our team. They're all on camera now. Some awkward faces.
Finally, some other people just besides me and Mac.
Max and I were getting lonely, we were just all our lonesome. Mackenzie, I was one of the co-hosts, and I'm the associate producer, co-producer. Max?
I'm Max, co-host as well. Creative director, social media clips.
I'm Matthew. I did the editing for the audio and the video, and the audio while we were shooting.
I'm Julia. I was the social media manager and did all the graphic stuff and kind of branding for the podcast.
I'm Kaylee. I was the producer, and I kind of just did a bit of everything and organizing with guests and making sure we were together. So.
Hi, I'm Tony, and I'm the camera operator, and also I do some technical support on set.
Yay, so now you've met everyone, and we're gonna have everyone do a favorite segment they had, a favorite social clip, and we can start with Max.
Sure. I had a few, but I won't steal the thunder from anyone else's. My favorite social clip or segment that we had was when we talked to Trent about him getting, and he told us a story about him getting kicked out of Timbits hockey. What was the process like to getting to where you are? Like, where did it start? How old were you?
So I actually got kicked out of Timbits hockey as a kid. Yeah. I was a terrible skater. And so I was playing Timbits hockey, and I was like, I hated if someone took the puck from me. I'm a really competitive person. So like, if someone took the puck from me, I would throw my stick at them, like tomahawk, punch,
so
kick,
no sticks allowed for you.
Yeah, I'm probably the only like Timbits player who has, like, I have the most penalty minutes, definitely still. In Timbits history. So they had asked like my mom and my grandparents, like, hey, like he shouldn't come back until he's learned how to skate better, just like to kind of solve that issue. So I went into Can Skate, learned how to skate, ended up trying figure skating like a year afterwards, liked it. And then it just kind of like rolled from there. I just kind of fell in love with it.
That's what I was gonna say is my favorite.
That led him to becoming a figure skater, because no way he was allowed to have a stick anymore. So that was probably one of my favorites. But honestly, I really enjoyed talking to all the guests, and we had some amazing segments and questions.
Okay, Matthew.
Mine was from episode 1 with Juan, but it wasn't really with Juan. It was when Max talked about his dream job of being a full service gas station person, or whatever they're called. I don't even know.
Okay, and then last one for this segment. When you were little, what was your dream job?
I remember the first job I kind of thought of when I was a little kid was like an astronaut. I wanted to be a veterinarian at one point.
Okay.
But you know, I'm not smart enough to be an astrophysicist or going to space, and I don't like animals in pain. So we went with sports. So yeah, but yeah, those were kind of the two things I probably as a kid, like astronaut or veterinarian.
Wow. Okay.
What did you want to be when you were little?
Honestly, this one's also bad. When I was really little, I thought the guys like at the full service gas station that would pump your gas. For some reason, I was so weird. I was just like, that'd be a cool job. And I'm like,
What?
I hate pumping my own gas. Like, why would I want to do that?
Especially in the cold winter days, like you don't want to be that guy.
I mean, I also once played in the NBA or the NFL.
Fair.
See, I never had
feel like
that. I never had that. Like
They were never realistic.
Yeah,
but-
no, yeah.
So yeah, that was my favorite.
Okay, Julia.
I guess another favorite like clip was when Juan ripped his pants at that like event that he had with all of those like big people. I think it was for the people in the NHL.
Yeah.
Or whatever. I thought that was so funny because I was just thinking like that's something that would happen.
Yeah. I'm gonna take it away because we were a little serious. So when you were paying your dues per se, was there maybe like a very embarrassing moment, or was there something that you look back on and you're like, I can't believe I did that? Like, is there anything that you did that now it just seems kind of ridiculous to get into a job?
Not an embarrassing moment related to like getting a job, but like I had a really embarrassing moment actually when I was in university. I did some work for the then CWHL, and there was a gala event. Like the awards were held at TMU that year in the Mattamy, and dress code, you have to wear something nice. So I wore a suit, and I think this was maybe like an hour ahead of the event. I was there helping set up cameras and stuff because I was help covering it. And I bent down to pick something up, and I ripped my pants like straight down, like the seam here, like, and I stood back up, and like I look up. No one noticed, like no one noticed. But I'm looking around the room, and like Marie-Philippe Poulin is over there, like Hillary Knight, like half of like every professional women's player you could, like the top level of Olympians are here. So like I went to my friend Maddie Harris, who's also TMU grad. I went to her because she was working the event with you. I'm like, Maddie, like I fucking ripped my pants. Like, what do I do? She's like, no. And she's like, let me see. I'm like, and she starts crying, laughing. She's like, you need to go get a pair of pants. So I went on the TTC, got out of the Mac, walked to like, the station on the corner, trying to hide the rip of my pants on the TTC, walked into H&M, luckily found a pair of blue pants that fit my suit jacket like nearly perfectly, put those on. Don't remember what I did with the other pair of pants. I probably just tossed them somewhere. I left them in the bag, and I went and did the event, and no one was the wiser. But yeah, I was in a room full of Olympians with, like,
my God.
Yeah, it was bad. It was single-handedly like the biggest oh shit moment I've ever, like, just kind of funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I've never really had anything that like paying my dues, but like that was just like just bad luck.
My favorite clip, this is definitely hard. When we talked to Hannah about her mental health, I think that was super impactful.
What would you, if you had one other piece or like one more, it doesn't have to be necessarily a piece of advice or just something that you would say to other people if they're going through any mental health struggles or anything like that, trying to find their way? Like, what is something that you could tell them to just like get them to that next step or that you think would help?
Yeah, I think my biggest one is just starting every day with like a new day, and every time your feet hit the floor, it could end up being the worst day, and that's fine. But if you make the choice every single morning to wake up and see like light in it, that's a first step. And I think healing and recovery and finding yourself from struggle is all it is a bunch of small, simple steps, and those small things is what like moves you forward. And we try to find like really big answers to these questions, but it's really just about small little steps. And if you can take those small little steps, celebrate them. Like that's the biggest thing too. Like we don't celebrate. So I think just really celebrating the small wins. And then that stuff starts to compound.
She was just really well spoken. And then on a more lighthearted topic, I really loved Robin and her talking about her go-to drink at the bar and then having it tattooed on her. If you haven't watched the episode, go watch it because I'm not going to spoil it. But yeah.
I really love talking to everybody. I think it was like everyone had such a different vibe and like unique perspective. And we definitely got like advice, but also to chat with a lot of cool people. I think Robin was like, just talking to Robin, I don't know, I was like weirdly starstruck, like sitting with her, but I like talking to her about her personal style. When you sat down, I was like, it's so funny that you're sitting with me on the couch because we're dressed so differently. So your personal brand in like 3 words, how would you describe your personal brand in like style? Because obviously it's very, like it's artsy, it's great, it's colorful, I love it. I'm in black and white.
I have never
I
heard
think it's
artsy before.
The tattoos and everything, I love it.
I mean, as someone who grew up closeted for a really long time, I think my whole thing is just being 110% myself at all times. That's the tattoos, that's the style. Like when I came into myself, I didn't want to ever hide it ever again. It's like something I've talked about in therapy. It's like, that's why I'm so bold and out there, is because I don't ever want to feel the way I felt before. So I think that that's really where my personal brand comes from. To sum it up in like a couple words, I mean, I still consider myself a tomboy, which, you know, I would say outgoing, and I would probably say like emotional. Like I'm pretty much an open book, so I feel like that kind of connects with people. But yeah, those would be like the top 3 if I had to describe myself. But I feel like it's a really weird trio.
Well, my favorite segment is not particularly someone, but I think the segment where we ask casual questions to the guest, I feel like it brings out the personality of the guest, and it makes our podcast more engaging and relatable.
I love that part too. I think it's so much fun to just like hit them with the random questions.
Yeah.
And today we like worked it in so nicely. It was just like, it kind of flowed back and forth. Yeah.
Yeah, I think as we, from the start till the end, I think we all got like a lot more comfortable in our roles and interviewing the guests, but more just, as I like to say, shooting the shit. Like I feel like it was a good opportunity for us to get to know them, for our audience to get to know them, and really just like show it to the world what we've been working on this entire semester. And I think we all had a lot of fun with it.
It's been a lot of fun. I think we're a dream team.
Agreed. I also think it's cool that we got to talk to people who we kind of knew and then got to learn more about, or like someone like Trent who we like cold called and didn't really know, and like got to learn like a totally different story. So I thought that was awesome.
And I feel like also like with our guests that we were able to go a bit further than I think at first that we expected to kind of go with, and we showed like we had so many. It was every guest like was very unique in their own way, whether it was their job or their personal life or their what's happened in their past, or like their athletes. Like I feel like we were all over the map, and it kind of like helped us along, like getting to know them and everybody getting to know them, and just giving us a different side of just the, oh, what do you do? What's this? And it's the same answers for everyone. And I feel like that's probably my most enjoyable part about doing a podcast, was just talking to them about everything.
Yeah, just hanging out on the couch and getting to chat. But I'm sure you guys have heard enough of Max and I chatting. So thank you for listening. And if you haven't checked out the podcast, you definitely should.